in my travels around Saginaw. I was recently at a special giveaway when I spotted this really interesting doll, and I felt an attraction to her right off. As I picked her up, my fingers began to tingle somewhat, and I've had that feeling before. When I've touched objects that seem to have a certain energy attachment to them. I'm not saying that she does, but my fingers are tingling right now. Why do some dolls gain the reputation of being haunted? And perhaps it's because of the way they look, how they're made, or a history of paranormal activity associated with the particular object or doll. I have to admit to being fascinated by the paranormal, always have been. Perhaps it's the way perhaps it's because I've had more than a few paranormal encounters over the years, and many of them I have videos here on YouTube about. But let's consider this charming vintage doll. Now, the doll is obviously both vintage and handmade. It was cut from various types of cloth. There's black, there's red thread, orange in the eyes, and so she was made from various types of cloth, and would have picked up, I believe, personal energy from the seamstress or the individual who made her. The doll is obviously, like I said, homemade. I find it rather odd that the doll was made with no legs. I'm not trying to be personal, but it was made with no legs, and you can see the rather crude stitching along the bottom. But I have found nothing online to indicate whether or not that's significant that the doll has no legs or not. I just found it rather unusual. All considered, I believe the doll to be from the 1950s. The clothes have vintage snaps on them, and the cloth itself is obviously vintage. These types of snaps don't, usually if somebody's going to make something nowadays, they use Velcro to close it with. Not such a case with the doll. Now, I said when I hold the doll in my hands, my fingers tingle, and that I have experienced this before. There have been many Indian artifacts over the years as I've gone out hunting and digging at various locations, that certain artifacts, when I picked them up, you could feel an energy about them or within them. One is the Ascota Indian image stone, which if you haven't looked at the video, I'll try to remember to put a link in the description. I'd have to say for mine, it's a classic, and it's a true story of just what I'm talking to you about right here. So, it's not hard to believe that the artifacts would be charged with a lot of personal energy, because the people of the woodland cultures here in Michigan didn't have a lot to work with. I'm sorry, I'm getting way off the subject. Let's return to the doll. The doll, to me, resembles either Haitian or a Creole style, and that naturally brings to mind pagan spirituality, because both Haitian and Creole have strange ties to what is called hoodoo, and it's a religious practice that takes part in the Caribbean and the southern parts of the United States. The religion is characterized by sorcery and spirit possession, in other words, voodoo, which came about through traditional African practices. This belief system came to the United States with the enslaved people that were brought here. Now, colors are important in hoodoo, and this doll consists of orange, like I was pointing out in the beginning. She has orange eyes, she has a red mouth, the black cloth for her body and arms and hands, the vintage cloth, red, white, and a grayish color. And so these different colors, if she is related in any way to that religion, the colors are important. Now, orange represents, a lot of these are positive things. Orange, for example, with the eyes on this doll, represents success, support, and rapid adaptation. And then there's white for peace, security, cleanliness, health, honesty, sincerity, and protection from rumors. Red is for power, energy, love, health, and passion. All of these represent positive attributes, though some can be corrupted. And let's face it, man and womankind can corrupt anything good to use it for evil. And that might seem kind of a crass statement, but it is true. But the only color on here which would have a negative connotation is the black. And on the other hand, see, its connotation, as I said, is different. It represents grief, strife, poverty, confusion, and bad luck. Only fully black dolls are used in the black arts. Now, if this was made by somebody who had an interest in that culture, the Creole culture, I can see that the black, traditionally the people of color, in the Caribbean and in the southern United States, were poor people, and there was a lot of negativity in their lives, particularly during the slave era. So this could represent, maybe to the maker, that era and the poverty that the people of dark color, dealt with in those times. The term people of color irks me to no end because, yes, it should more accurately be people of dark color or people of light color. I am by no means white. I am a person of color. So are you. And even if I was white, I would still be a person of color, would I not? But boy, I'm having I'm going off track a lot today, and I'm sorry about that. Just different things that come to mind. But anyways, an online search leads me to conclude this style is, of course, Creole. It could be Haitian, but I'm pretty, 99% certain she represents the Creole culture. She's vintage, handmade, and I believe infused with energy, maybe not purposely, but the energy of the person who created the piece. Is she haunted? Not traditionally. Is there something left from the person that made her? I believe so. But I don't believe that it's anything bad. It's easy to see why, with the pedigree of this style, that one who was not as broad-minded as I am could consider to be haunted. The person from whom I obtained this style believed it to be, but was hesitant to give me any details as to why she thought that. Well, I will be keeping a close eye on her, but as yet, nothing other than the tingling of my fingers has happened. I'm happy to have found her. I'm happy to have her as a part of my collection, and I sense the energy I feel to be happiness, and until something happens to make me feel otherwise, I see no danger in her at all, though she is an interesting piece, both ethnically and because of energy that is likely there from the person who made her. So I hope you enjoyed taking a look at her. She is a charming doll. Help me think of a name for her. If you can think of a name for her, please put it in the comment section below. Something Creole would be nice, and I'll pick a winner. And what do you get for winning? My unending gratitude. All right. I am so glad that you could be with me today, and I hope to see you all again real soon. God bless each and every one of you on the other side of that screen, because I love you very, very much. And I say it and I mean it. God bless. Talk to you soon.